Welcome back to Two Therapists Walk Into a Podcast. I'm Robin Green, LCSW, a trauma therapist in Arizona.
And I'm Stephanie Edsall, also a trauma therapist here in Utah. We're so glad you're here with us for Series 2, The Science of Connection. This series is all about exploring the relationships that shape us: attachment, rupture, repair, and regulation, and how healing happens between us, not in isolation. It's about reconnecting with others, yes, but also with ourselves, with the parts of us that got quiet or lost along the way, with what safety actually feels like, not just what we think it should be. If you're just joining us, Series 1 laid the groundwork, understanding the nervous system, how trauma impacts the body, and what healing can actually feel like. And in this episode, we're diving into something foundational: how our earliest attachments shape our adult relationships.
This one invites depth because when we talk about attachment, we're talking about our earliest experiences of being held or not, about the first places we learned what love, trust, safety, and belonging might feel like, or what they might cost. And for a lot of us, those templates were complicated.
To say the least. So we know that this can bring up a lot. So we'll take our time. We'll explore what attachment is, how it forms, and how trauma can interrupt or confuse those early bonds. And we'll share what healing actually looks like, not in theory, but in real, imperfect practice.
Because this isn't about blaming your parents. It's about understanding what your nervous system adapted to and what's possible now.
Let's go ahead and take a breath. This is a tender topic. If it feels okay, soften your jaw or let your shoulders drop.
If you need to pause or move around while you listen, that's welcome here. Let this be a space where your body gets to stay with you in the room. And if that's hard, that's okay too. Just being here is enough. Let's start with the basics. Attachment is how we bond. It's a survival instinct. It tells us who's safe, who will show up, and how we expect to be treated in close relationships.
And those early bonds, they shape everything: how we ask for help and how we handle conflict, how much closeness we tolerate, even how we talk to ourselves when we're struggling.
Right. And for folks with trauma, especially developmental or attachment trauma, those early templates often included unpredictability, emotional distance, or even outright harm. And your nervous system learned to survive that.
Correct. Remember, we talked about being in overprotection. That might mean that you learned to please, to perform, to disappear, to stay hyper independent. These are survival strategies. Your nervous system's creative attempts to stay connected or safe in situations where attunement wasn't available. Not flaws. Just the wisdom of a younger you. Basically trying to make it through with whatever tools you had. And those strategies, they kept you safe. But now they might be getting in the way of connection.
Right. So let's say you grew up with a parent who was inconsistent, sometimes warm, sometimes cold. That unpredictability wires your system to stay on high alert. So even now, as an adult, when someone pulls away, even for a good reason, you might spiral. That's not weakness. That's your body remembering.
Yeah. Or maybe you were the kid who had to hold it all together, who couldn't have needs. So, of course, now you struggle to ask for help or even identify what you feel. Ugh. But hear us out. That's not brokenness, that's protection.
And Stephanie, I just want to add, I assume like when you chuckle a little when you laugh, like that's knowing laughter. Like,
Absolutely.
okay, just making sure. Right. And the thing is, we don't heal attachment wounds by thinking our way out of them. We heal them in safe, attuned relationships, sometimes with partners, sometimes with friends, sometimes with a therapist, but always in connection.
And it's not about finding the perfect relationship. That's not realistic. It's about finding safe enough people and practicing new ways of being slowly with compassion.
If you've ever wondered, why do I react this way? You're not too much. You're not broken. You're remembering, and you're allowed to do it differently now.
Here's something we use in session that can bring some compassion to those moments. It's called the attachment reframe. When you catch yourself reacting in a way that feels outsized, pause, ask, what does this remind my body of? Then add, and what's actually true right now? This helps your nervous system begin to separate the past from the present gently.
Yes, and you don't have to shame the reaction. Just notice it. Offer yourself the kind of response you might offer a younger version of you: patience, curiosity, and presence. You might say, of course, this feels hard. I see you.
I love that. Having people practice that even in session is neat to see just their body almost relax. It's cool to watch their system regulate.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important to create a mantra in those moments, This is my
Mhm.
first time doing it, of course it's gonna be hard.
Mm.
Just talking yourself through those small moments to prepare.
And it's only awkward if you make it.
Oh, I'm good at that.
I think anybody can be. And it's about, again, practice, practice. Not practice makes perfection, but practice cultivates itself.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Here's your nervous system nugget. Something simple to carry with you. Attachment patterns live in the body before they ever show up in behavior. So try this if you can. When you feel yourself reacting strongly in a relationship, I want you to pause and notice what your body is doing. Is your breath shallow? Is your jaw tight? Instead of trying to fix it, just name it. Even saying to yourself, something old is showing up right now. I'm allowed to slow down. That means healing isn't just about changing your mind. It's about offering your body new experiences of safety, one small moment at a time.
This is tender material, layered and often stored in places words don't easily reach. So take your time with it. Here's a gentle reflection. Think about a moment in the past week when you felt activated in a relationship. What did that remind you of? And what did you need in that moment?
If that feels hard to even answer, try starting with what am I afraid might happen? Sometimes that question leads you straight to that original wound.
Exactly. Just kind of asking yourself, what's the threat? What is happening? And
Mhm.
remember, like those reactions make sense in context.
For sure.
It's not the overreaction, right? It's that remembering the body going, ah, help. I need help. Do you hear me?
So this touched into deep places, and if you're still here with us, we're grateful. Healing attachment doesn't always look like progress. It can feel like stumbling in circles, even when you're moving forward. But it's sacred work because it asks us to turn toward the oldest parts of ourselves with something new, care, not shame. And you're not doing it alone.
And it's probably going to feel a little strange at first just because we said right there it's the oldest part of ourself doing something new. It will take a little bit of time to adopt and feel comfortable.
For sure, it's supposed to feel weird.
Indeed, it is. I sometimes it's like a pins and needles feeling like, what's going on? It's going to work. It is going to work. Just give it a chance.
Hmm.
Keep at it. Keep at it. That life will come back into what it needs to. And next time, we'll talk about boundaries, how to set them in a way that protects connection instead of cutting it off. I sometimes feel like, bless my heart and soul, the social media avenues of how to set boundaries uh, doesn't quite capture some really important elements, and so I'm excited to be able to
Hmm.
share that with you guys.
Hmm.
Mhm. And we'll explore trauma, how it can distort our sense of limits, and what it looks like to reclaim boundaries as acts of clarity and care. And as always, remember, healing isn't linear, and we're
We're
here
here for
for the
the
ride.
ride.
Thanks for sitting with us today. If something resonated, we'd love it if you shared the episode, left a review, or connected with us on social media. We're two therapists walk into a podcast on most platforms. You can listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not therapy, does not replace therapy, and does not establish a therapist client relationship. If you're in crisis, please reach out to a qualified mental health professional or call 988 in the US. Robin Green is a licensed therapist in Arizona, and Stephanie Edsall is licensed in Utah. And this podcast is intended for a general audience.